Celebrities aren't known for biting their tongues, but when they say the wrong thing to the media, it can cost them their entire career.
Hoping some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, so that I could kill him.
Like actor Tom Cruise's 2005 interview on The Today Show, where he shared some shocking and even disrespectful views about mental illness.
I've never agreed with psychiatry, ever. Before I was a Scientologist, I never agreed with psychiatry. And then when I started studying the history of psychiatry, I started realizing more and more why I didn't agree with psychiatry. And as far as the Brooke Shields thing is, look, I want to see her do well. And I know that psychiatry is a pseudoscience.
But Tom, if she said that this particular thing helped her feel better, whether it was the antidepressant or going to a counselor or a psychiatrist, isn't that enough?
Matt, you have to understand this. Here we are today, where I talk out against drugs and psychiatric abuses of electric shocking people, okay, against their will, of drugging children with them not knowing the effects of these drugs. Do you know what Adderall is? Do you know Ritalin? Do you know now that Ritalin is a street drug? Do you understand that?
The difference is this was not against her will, though. But this wasn't against Brooke's will.
Matt, I'm asking you a question.
I understand there's abuse of all of these things.
No, you see, here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
Tom proceeded to make the situation worse by insinuating that mental illness, including depression, was all in one's head.
And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem. That's what it does. That's all it does. You're not getting to the reason why. There is no such thing as a chemical imbalance.
So postpartum depression to you is
Matt,
kind of a little psychological gobbledygook?
No, I did not say that.
I'm just asking, what would you call it?
Matt, that is the post. Now you're talking about two different things.
But that's what she went on the antidepressant for.
One can only imagine the immense pushback Tom received following the release of this interview. But if you can't, the video's top comment sums up the audience's thoughts pretty nicely. You are watching two psychopaths trying to out-psychopath the other. His affiliates apparently thought the same, as the actor was dropped by Paramount Pictures the year after the interview. And even Steven Spielberg took the opportunity to publicly shame Tom in a later interview. That interview understandably made studios less eager to work with him and forever put a stain on Tom's reputation. But what Tom had to say arguably isn't as bad as the remarks Liam Neeson made in this 2019 interview with The Independent, where he admitted to trying to kill a random black person after his friend was allegedly assaulted.
I asked, did she know who it was? No. What color were they? She said it was a black person. I went up and down areas with a cosh, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping some black would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, so I could.
Needless to say, Liam's fan base was extremely disturbed and displeased by the confession. Following the interview's release, he caught so much fire in the first 24 hours alone that he had to go on Good Morning America the very next day to clarify that he was indeed not a racist.
Would you have had the same reaction if your friend had said it was a white man? Would you want her to go out and kill him?
She'd have said an Irish, or a Scot, or a Brit, or a Lithuanian. I know I would have had the same effect.
However, critics were more concerned that he took the offense of one person as an offense on behalf of an entire race, and more importantly, that he could have killed an innocent person. This judgmental and unstable portrayal of him completely contradicted the almost sage-like persona that crowds were used to seeing, and a lot of fans simply have not hopped back on Liam's bandwagon since then.
It's a situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's business.
But started I think it was about 4 years ago, started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started with him just needing some help.
Because for me, that was the thing when when Og first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah. And I mean, we found all those different resources, to help pull him through. And from there, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over. We
were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement.
Will became visibly distraught by the revelation because, as stated before, August had not only been a friend of both his and Jada's, but he'd also spent ample time around the couple's kids, Jaden and Willow. At one point in the interview, Will got tired of Jada beating around the bush and urged her to be straightforward about her engagements with August.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship, absolutely. I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken.
With August, what do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good. And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah. And that husband, now I got to be with you at the press conference while you tell the world about your transgressions.
Well,
I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself.
Following the episode's release, the internet tore Jada apart for her lack of accountability. Not to mention that her rather awkward use of the word entanglement became a meme all on its own. Since then, Jada has essentially been pinned as one of the most toxic people in Hollywood, and no one has looked at the Set It Off star quite the same. Besides her show Red Table Talk, she hasn't appeared in many public or paid gigs. She did release a memoir in 2023, but according to Forbes, the book had only sold 29,000 printed copies in 4 weeks, as opposed to Britney Spears' memoir, which was released 3 weeks after Jada's and sold 418,000 printed copies in half the time. But while Jada's transgressions don't reflect well on her as a person, at least they don't diminish the value of her past accomplishments. But we can't say the same for this next 2013 confession, which put world-famous cyclist Lance Armstrong's entire career in question.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
Yes or no? Was one of those banned substances EPO?
Yes.
Did you ever blood dope or use blood transfusions to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
Did you ever use any other banned substances like testosterone, cortisone, or human growth hormone?
Yes.
In all 7 of your Tour de France victories, did you ever take banned substances or blood dope?
Yes.
In your opinion, was it humanly possible to win the Tour de France without doping 7 times in a row?
Not in my opinion. I view this situation as one big lie that I repeated a lot of times.
Lance achieved fame after winning the Tour de France, an annual 2,100-mile bicycle race, every year from 1999 to 2005. But his titles were promptly stripped following the release of this interview, and he has since sat in obscurity. for obvious reasons. The interview not only shed light on Lance Armstrong's issues, but Paula Deen was put under the spotlight as well after it was leaked by a former manager at one of her restaurants that she used a racial slur while discussing the plans for a wedding.
So I'll ask it to you bluntly. Are you a racist?
No. No, I'm not.
By birth, by choice, by osmosis, you don't feel you have racist tendencies?
No.
All right, but you raised your right hand.
Yes, I did.
And you swore under oath
yes, I
that
did.
you have used a word that is the most offensive word you can use to describe an African American. And you've talked about this wedding you wanted to plan, that plantation-style wedding.
The day I used that word, it was a world ago. I was
So
going to
reports
recognize
that you were asked in that deposition whether you had used the N-word on other occasions and said probably or of course are inaccurate?
No. I answered the question truthfully.
To make matters worse, she then proceeded to blame her mistake on the language that she hears being used by black youth.
Do you have any doubt in your mind that African Americans are offended by the N-word?
I don't know, Matt. I have asked myself that so many times because it's very distressing for me to go into my kitchens and I hear what these young people are calling each other. For this problem to be worked on, that these young people are gonna have to take control and start showing respect for each other and not throwing that word at each other. It makes my skin crawl.
Apparently, not enough to use the word herself on several occasions. Her affiliates weren't so convinced either, and following the exposure, Paula was dropped by approximately 10 different companies, including Food Network, Walmart, Smithfield Foods, JCPenney, and her former publishing company called Ballantine Books, who refused to sell her upcoming book despite the high numbers of pre-orders. Though Paula would launch her own web show in 2017 and can be seen in a few food competitions, the Southern Chef would never be signed to another cooking network or return to TV stardom again. But Paula wasn't the only one to talk herself out of a show. Piers Morgan famously left his own news broadcast, Good Morning Britain, in 2021 after his co-host apparently got tired of Piers constantly bashing the royal family.
And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This is
this.
absolutely diabolical behavior.
Later that same day, it was publicly announced that Piers wouldn't be returning to Good Morning Britain, effectively ending his career on public television. But that's not as startling a conclusion as Charlie Sheen's 2015 interview on The Today Show, where he made a confession on live TV that no one saw coming.
You know there are a lot of rumors out there right now, and you would like to address them head on, so I'll give it to you. Go ahead.
I have to, yeah. I'm here to admit that I am, in fact, HIV positive.
How many people have you told about this?
I've told enough that I trusted to be in the position and the situation that I'm in today.
People you thought you could trust at the time?
Absolutely.
How long have you known about this? When were you diagnosed?
Roughly 4 years ago.
Charlie would go on to explain the troubling reason behind why he took so long to go public.
Yeah.
And you have said that you have been the victim of betrayal and extortion. You told me that a lot of people have actually demanded money to stay silent about this.
That is true. I've paid those people, not that many, but enough to where it has depleted the future.
How many people have you paid?
I don't want to guess wrong, but enough to bring it into the millions.
You wrote this to me in a letter and shared it with me yesterday. In and around this perplexing and difficult time, I dazedly chose or hired the companionship of unsavory and insipid types. I'm imagining prostitutes. Regardless of their saltless reputations, I always led with condoms and honesty when it came to my condition. Sadly, my truth soon became their treason.
Charlie's career had been going downhill due to his drug-fueled antics for years before this point. But this revelation brought with it a lawsuit from his former fiancée as well as allegations that he'd kept his status from many other partners before coming clean. Since then, Charlie has remained off the screen and out of the public eye, no doubt watching his health and attempting to rebuild his fortune. But at least that interview wasn't as awkward as this Joaquin Phoenix's 2009 interview with David Letterman that left David, the audience, and Joaquin's fans shocked and confused.
You've got a nice beard going, and
oh yeah, thank you.
How is that, the beard?
In what way?
Well, is it comfortable? Is it itchy? Is it? Are you pleased with it?
I'm okay with it, but now you're making me feel weird about it.
I'm sorry, I'm making you feel weird about it?
Is there something wrong?
I can't be the first one to make you feel weird about it.
No, I guess not.
I saw this movie the other night. Tremendous. What a tremendous film. You and who else is in it? What's her name? Beautiful, lovely. Well, can you tell us about your days with the Unabomber? It's just a little joke.
Are you all right? What happened to your thumb?
To my thumb? Yeah. Oh, it's just a little cuticle mishap.
That's infected. David.
It's just a grooming mistake.
No, that's infected.
No, that's not. That'll be all right.
I think that's...
At one point, tensions between the two ran a little high when David tried to surprise Joaquin by showing a clip from his movie, Two Lovers.
Can you set up the clip for us, Joaquin?
Are you kidding? Are you serious? Just the maniacal laughter? I don't know what the clip is.
Don't know what the clip is? It's maybe you and a scene with you and Gwyneth Paltrow?
All right, you're doing fine.
Thanks. High praise coming from you.
Is that really? That's the thing?
We're having fun.
Is that's
We're
fun?
having fun. Just relax, seriously. I'll come to your house and chew gum.
Okay, I don't have to.
No, just relax.
I won't do the gum. I won't do the gum.
Now, who is the other young woman in the film?
Vanessa Shaw.
Oh my God, just
She's
two lovely
wonderful.
women, yeah, and Isabella Rossellini.
Joaquin's scruffy appearance and uncanny behavior left many to believe that he was on drugs or having a mental breakdown. It caused such a stir that Joaquin would later have to come out and announce that it was all a joke. At the time, he was playing a character for a mock documentary about the woes of stardom called I'm Still Here, except neither David nor the audience were pre-informed of the joke, prompting the spread of insane rumors and garnering a mixture of criticism and disbelief from his fans. Despite the backlash, Joaquin released a mockumentary the following year, but it took 10 years for him to bounce back and reach critical acclaim for his lead role in Joker. At least Joaquin's acting career didn't take as big a hit as John Mayer's music career following some racial, lewd, and outright disturbing comments he made during a 2010 interview with Playboy. In the interview, posted in Playboy magazine, John was asked why he thought black people liked him and his music, and he responded, "Someone asked me the other day, what does it feel like now to have a hood pass? And by the way, it's sort of a contradiction in terms, because if you really had a hood pass, you could call it a N-word pass. Why are you pulling a punch and calling it a hood pass if you really have a hood pass?" But I said, I can't really have a hood pass. I've never walked into a restaurant, asked for a table, and been told, we're full. John was then asked, do black women throw themselves at you? To which he gave another startling response. I don't think I opened myself to it. My expletive is sort of like a white supremacist. I've got a Benetton heart and a David Duke expletive. I'm going to start dating separately from my expletive. Fans weren't too happy with John throwing around a racial slur or the implications that any part of him was a white supremacist. The backlash he received ultimately pushed him into obscurity, and the once A-list pop musician has yet to bounce back to that level of fame even over a decade later.